Millie, I'd appreciate it if you'd stop saying Lewinsky so much. You mean like when you're drinking coffee? Like then, yes, grown-ups have had to listen to that name over and over for a whole year. Now that it's over, we'd like to stop hearing it. Okay, sorry. Good. Now if you'll excuse me, I need to do the breakfast dishes. You're in my heart and my heart will go on.
Ozy is once again reminded of the lifespan of dragons. Lewinsky. Lewinsky. Teapot Dome.
Honey on your cornbread?
Sure.
Bees labor their whole lives to make honey. It's their sole purpose. Then we steal it, without a second thought. And the bees go darn and make more. Bees are stupid.
Just when I thought that story wasn't going to have a moral.
Hello?
Hi, Millie. This is Ozy. Avery is at my house. Apparently, he read in news time that it's now fashionable in America to return to religion and spirituality.
Oh, goody. I bet he's running around preaching like a televangelist, huh?
Not quite. Come on, Brother Ozy. It is now time to conduct the ceremony of the magic sock. Avery, I'm not convinced your new religion is going to catch on. Blasphemer. Religion is all the rage. The timing is perfect. All that's left is to take my messages to the masses. So what exactly is your message? And what spiritual rituals do you have that don't involve socks? That'll be determined by opinion polls. You know, it takes real skill to make democracy look like such a stupid idea. Oh, when everything seems bleak, and your life is in the John. When your genes aren't Tommy Hilfiger, and you need some gloom, be gone. Just follow my religion, and I'll show you what life means. Convert to Averyism, heaven, bliss, and stylish jeans. Since when do you even wear pants? Do you really think TV viewers care about logical inconsistencies? Armageddon was a hit. Avery attempts to win converts to his newly founded religious cult. And lo, all things were revealed to me and stuff. Ready to convert yet?
I think we'll wait until you actually get some teachings. Still, his religion does have one important advantage.
It does?
Sure. He's the prophet and the pestilence all rolled into one.
His attempts at winning converts between the age of 7 and 100 having failed, Avery decided to attempt to convert his younger brother to his new cult. He explained the ritual of the sock, the significance of the sacred kiwi that resembles Patrick Stewart, the whole 9 yards. Alas, while children may sometimes be impressionable, they can also be uncompromisingly honest.
You look like a lamp.
Hey, Avery, you look almost normal. Yeah, I give up on trying to start a cult. I decided that religions are like any other fashion trend. They're cooler to follow than to start. I think you may have utterly missed the point of spirituality. Says you. I've been investigating some other fulfilling opportunities. Unfortunately, it seems Amway won't take you until you're 14. Well, we all need something to dream about.
Here at Smell Amico Oil, we don't just make cars go. We make the world better in all sorts of ways. Look at this sunset. Without smog, that wouldn't be possible. And these beautiful rainbow sparkles on the water. They're brought to you by the oil industry. Sometimes it seems like grown-ups are trying to tell me that being good is no substitute for being bad with style, and daughters like oil. We asked,
You're eating candy you dropped on the ground? Hey, you know what they say, God made dirt, dirt won't hurt. I wonder if he knows arsenic is also completely natural. I think you should avoid telling him that.
What does that sticker say, Avery?
It says support U.S. families, buy American only.
What does that mean?
Well, when you buy stuff that's made in America, all the money goes straight to starving people. But if you buy stuff that's made in other countries, they cackle evilly and set fire to the money.
Gosh, how'd you get so smart?
You can learn a lot from bumper stickers, Tim.
You lost the volleyball game for us in PE class today, you little snot. I ought to deck you. But my dad taught me never to hit girls.
see? Sometimes being a stupid sexist jerk works against you. I'll continue to be awful at sports and lose games, and because of your misogynistic approach to violence, there's nothing you can do. Actually, for a Neanderthal, he's remarkably creative when it comes to forms of abuse that don't involve hitting. You're not going to do anything about the fact that Jeremy's beating me up?
I'm afraid we can't, Millicent. Getting picked on is part of growing up. Jeremy's just being a red-blooded, rambunctious young boy. So sue him.
Mom, remember those back allowances you owe me? You're serious about wanting to sue this bully at your school. And I want you to be my lawyer, Mom. I think you have a screw loose. Didn't you ever get beaten up in school? Actually, no. Back then we had chivalry, so boys weren't allowed to hurt us. Of course, girls weren't allowed to talk much in class. And we had to wear skirts. Even in 20-degree weather, and, So how much do you think we should ask for? Maybe we could just make him wear a skirt. So Mom agreed to represent me in court when I sued Jeremy for beating me up.
I don't know, Millie. We live in a litigation-happy society. People can break into houses, then sue the homeowners for their injuries and win. Do you really want to add to that?
Ozy, remember that time last year when Jeremy dressed you up as Baby Spice and hung you from a goalpost, and the gym teacher just said it was a normal part of learning to be a man?
So, are you going for the death penalty?
Mom said we can't, but I'm holding out for the stocks. Good evening. Reporting for Cred News. I'm Barbara Walrus. I'm here at the county courthouse, where today a local young girl is suing a school jock for pain, anguish, and acting like an egotistical boogerhead. Local schools, wary of further attacks by misfit students such as young Millie Mudd, quickly took decisive action to get at the problem's root cause.
And from now on, we'll punish any troublemaker caught carrying a black legal briefcase.
Well, this is it, Millie, our big day in court. I've seen you at work before, but this is way different. I'm just excited to be involved in the grown-up way of solving a problem, with discussion instead of threats and insults.
Excuse me, counselor. I hope your client realizes that her reckless lawsuit could easily cause my client to give her several weeks' worth of lunchtime. Swirlies.
Boy, is adulthood going to be disappointing for you.
Counselor, we can do this my way. Or the big dumb stupid head way. Do you swear to tell the truth? The whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God, Millicent?
Okay. I confess. I accidentally set fire to the curtains. And then I panicked and buried them in the backyard. You'll have to excuse my client. She's new at this.
Well, right about now. Millie's out having her day in court.
Ah, yes, that's right. I do hope everything goes well for her. The schoolyard can be cruel and arbitrary. The fact that Millicent chose to entrust her case to the dignity of the court shows remarkable maturity and wisdom on her part.
Miss Mudd, drenching the opposing attorney with a squirt gun during cross-examination is not good courtroom form.
Young Mr. Studley, do you admit to needlessly tormenting my client on the playground?
Sure I do. And one other thing. You better find in my favor, or I'll beat you all up after the suit.
I'm afraid court doesn't work like school, kiddo.
Really? Well, that would explain why none of the jurors would give me their lunch money.
Mr. Studley, you are the defendant's father?
Yup, and proud, too. When my kid beats up other kids, he's teaching them a thing or two about the American competitive spirit. It's preparation for the real world.
Can you think of any situations in the real world in which my client might have to endure being stuffed into her locker by someone twice her size, with no recourse whatsoever? The plaintiff rests her case.
Wait. What if she becomes a sumo wrestler? Congratulations on winning your suit.
Thanks.
Did you get any actual assurance that Jeremy won't pick on you anymore?
Well, no. But I did force him to pay back 4 months' worth of lunch money he borrowed.
The assumption being that you'd actually spend it in increments spread out over 4 months?
They must not know me very well. Hey, it looks like cloning is in the news again. Do you ever wonder about Felicia?
I try not to.
No, I mean, this cloning stuff started out with sheep. Do you suppose there might be clones of Felicia?
In a manner of speaking.
Eh? Hey, look. Trendy Juvenile magazine says that Dawson's Creek is now the coolest show on TV. Oh, I always liked it the best. Me too. Me too. Totally, totally, totally. Oh,
I think science is way behind the curve on this one. Ozy and Millie.
By Simpson.
Who? What a day. On second thought, I don't think I'll have what he's having. You look prepared for the 4th of July. You bet. I'm going to celebrate Independence Day by exercising my all-American right to light off large, illegal explosives in a hazardous manner. I've always kind of suspected this is Charlton Heston's favorite holiday. Wow.
What?
Well, planets rotate around the sun much as electrons rotate around the nucleus of an atom. Since all matter is made of atoms, whole worlds could exist within, oh, say a bowl of cereal.
Very intriguing.
Hello. Stefan here. I regard it as my duty to see to the scientific accuracy in this strip since, you know, nobody else around here can. In yesterday's strip, it was suggested that electrons orbit a nucleus in a way similar to how planets orbit the sun. In fact, planets orbit in ellipses, while electrons orbit in clouds. This correction is for the education of readers, who we have an obligation to.
To whom we have an obligation.
What?
Thus, the revenge of the language-oriented.
I don't know what you're reading, but it's probably mainstream. Excuse me? I've decided I want to be underground. I read on the internet that it's cool to be suspicious of mainstream corporate culture and embrace street culture. Image is nothing, man. I'm keeping it real. So I had my mom buy me the latest name brand street clothes at the mall. So you're keeping it real what? See, from what I've seen, being cutting edge is all a matter of attitude. You rebel against the system by being dismissive of everything anybody says, and being in people's faces as much as possible. You don't suppose the fact that you got that attitude from MTV and ad campaigns damages its credibility as an anti-establishment philosophy? Ahem, yeah right, stupid head. You're going to be one of the few people who's actually more tolerable as a teenager, aren't you?
Look, Avery. I found your feet.
Oh well, I guess Avery's like most people. Really, people see only two options: mindless conformity or mindless rebellion. And either way, some company is doing your thinking for you. And, say, what's that?
Oh, I'm building a scale model of the Space Needle out of lollipop sticks and chewing gum.
I'm trying to decide if I should consider that reassuring or scary.
Does it have to be one or the other? You're going to go to school looking like that? Hee. Well, looking silly is your right, I suppose. Darn it, rebelling is zero fun around here.
The Western Dragon, the bane of St. George. The terror of many an unsettling fairy tale. The mere mention of this fearsome creature could send villagers scurrying desperately for shelter. With the exception of an especially determined and hostile knight, few things could give a dragon real cause for fear. No. Please. Anything but a trip to the dentist.
Honestly, Dad, this is almost as bad as your fear of rubber chickens. Dad, there's no reason to be afraid of going to the dentist.
Yes, I know that intellectually. It's simply that I grew up in a different era, when dentistry was a somewhat less developed science.
So they weren't as skilled with anesthesia?
Well, that's only the beginning. All right, open wide. I'll get started while my assistant prepares the leeches.
Well, at this moment, Dad's swallowing his fear of dentists and getting the tooth fixed. I'm proud of him. That moment when you step over the cliff can be terrifying, but then, when you discover it's only a 6-inch fall, it's profoundly liberating. Why, I bet right now he's discovering that fear is nothing but an illusion.
Hello, doctor. I'm...
A-A-A-A-I-A-I-H. Okay, say
Ah.
You know, it might be a better idea if, in your case, we avoided rinsing and spitting near any of the equipment.
So your dad survived his trip to the dentist?
Yup. His toothache is gone, and so, I think, is his fear. All that's left is some temporary fallout.
Novocaine is somehow even funnier on your dad.
You should have seen him trying to eat spaghetti.
What? You must have known you inherited it from somewhere.
I think. Therefore I am. Descartes said that.
Oh my gosh. That is, like, so geeky. How can you care what some nerdy historical French guy thinks when Dawson's Creek is on right now?
Descartes was pretty sharp, wasn't he?
I feel like I should find it more comforting that Felicia doesn't exist.
And it's all over now, baby blue.
Dude, that music sucks.
On the contrary, music like this is part of our heritage. It expresses a unique part of the experience of being alive. It's through music that we reveal our pain. You know, I really do walk into these things.
A frosinator. A glurbladunk. Oh, a hookoo. An inhere clomp. A girth. A clobulant. Let's see. I know. A lichimobulator. We decided this game needed to be more of a challenge.
I'm going on a trip, and I'm bringing an abtwok, a blonker. Tonalty.
Ty.
You know, it's hard enough being hip without having Maria Von Trapp for a little brother.
My brother says he's a lot cooler than me, Millie.
Yeah, well, Avery's not as cool as he thinks. No matter what he says. I'm sure he will grow out of it eventually.
How come?
Because no grown-up would ever be that deluded.
Actually, I lead a very active inner life.
Then maybe this strip should be taking place in your spleen. So the other day I was on the internet and...
Internet.
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 What on earth was that?
Well, you said the word internet in a business area.
And?
And the internet is the wave of the future. Or so investors have read. So they throw money at you.
But I'm not actually a company of any kind.
Amazon.com has ever turned a profit. Their faith never wanes.
Wow. I could make some serious cash this way.
Hey investors. Millie's cutting back on her internet business. For every action, an equal and opposite reaction.
Adult life seems to be a cross between a zincorn and a cattle stampede.
I'll get it. Hello?
This is your final warning, foul beast. Mend thy ways, or we shall strike down upon thee with terrible force. Dragon-slaying knights?
The neighborhood association. They think Dad's Victorian garden gnomes are hurting their property values.
The neighborhood association is after your dad?
Ever since we moved in. They got mad the very first week, when Dad put in rose bushes without applying for a permit first.
All this fight over a few roses?
Their rules are like a religion. And it didn't stop with roses. At this point, I think he's mostly just egging them on.
Son, IT.P. at our yard again. Could you update our grocery list accordingly?
This is a pretty standard upper middle class homeowners covenant, really.
Do they actually have any legal authority?
None at all, but I'm sure they believe they do. Enforcing rules is the only way some people can feel significant. The association president, for instance, is retired after 43 years of managing a factory that makes jar lids. Not that that has any inherent connection.
Nah. Say, here's the rest. Want to know how many centimeters high your grass need to be?
This is your last chance. Are you going to conform?
No.
No?
No. What are you going to do about it?
What are we going to do?
I'll be inside when you think of something.
Is your dad still grappling with the neighborhood association?
Of course. Dad's not doing anything bad enough for them to take him to court. And they know it. So it's a stalemate. Besides, what would Ahab have been without Moby Dick? Superman without Lex Luthor? Jerry Seinfeld without Newman? Sometimes, having a nemesis can be healthy.
Children, come on out and help me paint the fence plaid.
Of course, I mean healthy in its broadest possible sense. So after school, I went over to that new ice cream place. And, haha, your hat's so geeky, Ozy and Millie. You have a nerdy lunchbox. And you Smell like. Teen Spirit. No, I mean fish. Really old fish. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. trying to impress somebody cooler than us. So anyway, I ordered a chocolate sundae.
Oh my gosh. My life will never be the same. It's like an unspeakable loss. I'm totally shocked and saddened by this. Oh, totally. Now that he's gone, there's like an empty place in our hearts. Now that who's gone? I forget. It says here someplace. But it says right here that his life touched us all, and, in the wake of this latest young celebrity death, thousands flocked to the apartment building in which the deceased lived. They left flowers, chiseled off bits of the building, and had souvenir photos taken $15 apiece. In other news, traffic was backed up for 10 miles today on Highway 16, when drivers slowed down to watch local shoe salesperson Edna Flynn replace a flat tire.
Actually, I'm not sure this is other news.
I wanted to be part of said Gawker Marsha Podolsky. Avery, is that a cigarette?
SHHHH.
That seems idiotic even for you.
Well, I never would have. But this got to me. This is the most convincing pro-smoking advertisement I've ever seen. It's the first one I've ever seen that truly made me think smoking must be cool.
Kids, smoking is terrible. Signed, the Surgeon General, your teacher and your parents.
See? That's about as cool as it gets. Bleob black. Bleob black.
Oh, yeah, that was cool nausea. Pass me the cigarettes.
You're just jealous. So Avery's taken up smoking. At age 8?
Yeah. Doesn't he know it's bad for him?
I'm sure he does. It's a common misconception that if someone starts smoking, they must not know the risks. Kids have all the facts memorized. And yet, many still don't make the choices the experts predict. I admit, the reasons are somewhat beyond me.
Some of the possibilities boggle the mind.
PSSD, kid. Smoking is cool. And while we're at it, so is Jesse Ventura. You need a real hobbies are king.
Hey, Avery. No cigarette?
Nope. I'm through with them.
Get tired of coughing?
Worse. I saw one of the weirdest adults on the block smoking. So if weird old people do it, how cool can it be?
Weird old people? You?
Well, in my case, the only way to avoid smoking would be to refrain from exhaling.
You're ugly. Ha 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 ha. Well, at least I have a lawnmower. Ha 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 ha.
Ozzy, you know those people in the background laughing?
Yeah?
They're kind of stupid.
Yeah, well, your mom. Ha 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 ha.
Hello?
Good afternoon, sir. Can I interest you in aluminum siding?
Actually, you won't have to work very hard. Aluminum siding, like most things, has a deceptively interesting history. Invented early in this century by a Hungarian immigrant living in Kansas and pronounced aluminium siding by the British, it was.
You got another telemarketer to hang up on you?
Son, add this to the list of things that civility can get you.
So how's it going?
Pretty well.
Her canning optimism is truly remarkable.
I think I'm turning a slightly darker shade of orange. One of those days, Mom argues with me about cleaning my room. I drop my favorite mug on the floor and on top of it all, I forget my homework. What next? I score tickets to the Backstreet Spice Boys concert next month. Oh, life is great. Aesop's fox didn't realize that sour grapes are one of life's great pick-me-ups. Hey, that is so not cool.
My gosh, look at that. The way those people leapt into the air and exploded in flames. Amazing special effects. This has to be the world's coolest TV commercial. Did you see that? Tim, hey, where'd your brother go? Oh, he wandered off someplace. He always does that. He always ends up missing everything.
Millicent, why aren't you doing the assignment? Well, Mrs. Sorkowitz, I was thinking. This morning. You were telling us that it's good to use our imaginations as much as possible. So I'm going to imagine I'm doing my math. Millicent, let me explain something. So how was school today? You grown-ups really need to work on consistency, Mom. I wake to sleep, and take my waking slow. I feel my fate in what I cannot fear. I learn by going where I have to go.
You know, a lot of people can't relate to poetry.
I have the opposite problem. Let's go watch cartoons. So what do you want to do?
I dunno. What do you want to do?
Hide and seek?
Sure. Where?
How about your house?
Okay, sure. But this time, remember, the mode is off limits.
Oh yeah, like I have a burning desire to get covered in algae again.
59, 58, 57, 56, 35, 34, 33, 19, 18, 17, 3, 2, 1. Ready or not, here I come.
Boy. After this, finding quarters in the couch at home is really going to seem anticlimactic. My gosh, Ozy never said anything about having a whole world inside his couch. Ernest. I'm beginning to second guess my decision to eat that Twinkie I found on the ground this morning. I always make a point of reading the paper that's easiest to understand.
Ep.
Mom assures me that I'm too young to need deodorant, but this is ridiculous.
Hi. I'm the Dread Pirate Captain Locke.
Hi. I'm Millicent Mudd. The grown-ups in this place are acting kind of strange.
Oh, they're just nervous because this morning I told them I'd ground them if they kept using my toy boats.
You can ground grown-ups?
Well, why not? Sometimes they need it.
I like this place.
Of course, I pay for it by having to listen to them whine all day.
So, Locke. Here, universals like homework don't exist?
Nope.
What about Kablamacola?
Nope.
The Backstreet Spice Boys?
Nope.
Jerry Springer?
Who?
Wow. Complete shelter.
I just wish Microsoft would quit selling anchors with a mandatory web browser attached.
So where am I, Locke?
On a boat.
No, I mean, what's all around us?
Water. Duh.
No, how did I get here?
We sailed.
No.
If you can't figure any of this out for yourself, it's no wonder I'm a pirate captain and you're not. 1 pack of pomegranate chewing gum, my good man.
Yes, sir.
Ah, supplies, no doubt, for the epic journey that awaits us. Tell me, Captain, my captain, what's the nature of our mission of peril and glory? What uncharted seas are we sailing? What's the destination of our voyage?
Here. To get gum.
Oh, well, I guess we real heroes know not to overexert ourselves.
Dad, have you seen Millie?
I think I saw her hiding between the couch cushions. You don't suppose she's unprepared for the idiosyncrasies of our furniture, do you?
More than likely. I've seen her couch. It mostly contains land.
Well, lint, interdimensional vortex. Same general ballpark.
You do realize this is why I've started tuning you out a lot of the time.
So, going to look for Millicent?
Yeah. You know what's really interesting? My cushion fort building skills have proven vastly more useful than knowing the capital of Kentucky. Millie can't have gone far. She's only been in here a little while. Besides, I shouldn't be worried. Millie is nothing if not resourceful. I bet she's already gotten her bearings and devised a crafty escape plan.
Now, you're sure this is going to rocket me back home?
Well, I didn't say that.
So long, Locke. Come visit me next time.
See you, Millie.
Oh, wait a second, there's something I need to do before I go. Hey, crew. There's a giant 13-headed Jesse Ventura headed this way. Run for your lives. Sorry. But when am I going to get to do that again?
You do realize it'll take me months to restore their trust in children.
Oof. Tag. Now you're it.
Don't you think that's a little bit moot now? Ozy, you never told me your couch led to a surreal alternate world.
Well, It doesn't always, only sometimes. It's part of living with a dragon. I guess it just never occurred to me to mention it. I mean, do you tell me every time you find something between your couch cushions?
Ozy, come quick. I found a stale Frito in my couch.
Really? Care to share?
I had a good time at Ozy's house today. Oh? That's good. Ozy's dad's couch has a gateway to some other universe in it. I wandered in and discovered that they have checkerboard buildings and grown-ups take quarters from kids. And I met a pirate captain my age who took me in the SS Banana to the store to buy gum.
MS Mud is on the phone. She wants us to check the chemical content of the school water supply again.
Ooh, that cloud looks like a cow.
Give me a break, Timothy. That is so stupid. It's so preschool. It's so totally not cool. Jeez. And besides, it's obviously a ducky.
Hey da, I got you, babe.
Who am I to complain? I like having our own cafeteria table just as much as she does. Zen, the board game.
Okay, son, it's your turn to move by not moving.
Jeremy was picking on me today for being bad at football. Honestly, sometimes only one thing keeps me going.
Yeah. At least we know we have ethics and principle on our side.
Actually, I was referring to the knowledge that when I grow up, I'll move to San Jose, get disgustingly rich as CEO of a computer company, drive an ostentatiously expensive car, date supermodels, and crush anyone I don't like.
It's great to know cool kids don't have a monopoly on deluded hedonism.
That, or I could just build a death ray.
And they lived happily ever after. Mom? What does that mean? What? Happily ever after? You said yourself that nobody is ever happy all the time, and it's better to focus on being fulfilled. Does it mean that they lived rich, meaningful lives? Or that they base their lives on shallow pursuit whose pleasures are sustainable, yet ultimately hollow? I suppose drugs are one possibility. Would this story have more closure for you if the witch just ate them?
Avery, the next wave.
What?
I've decided to aggressively apply advertising techniques to my social life.
Will this include a mute button? So now you have a slogan.
Yup. I mean, obviously a simple phrase that's unrelated to the product can make clothes, cars and beverages popular, so I figure it's about time it got used for something really important, like my personal popularity.
You know, if you expended half this much energy on not being annoying,
I plan to spend a lot of time dancing weirdly in front of a white background. You're the next wave? Right. It says so in my slogan. The next wave of what? No. That's overthinking. Well, at least tell me what the previous wave was. You're supposed to just listen to the slogan, not analyze it. But it doesn't seem to mean anything. Darn it, what kind of consumer are you? A bouquet of blue flowers?
Ooh.
A guy surfing in grapefruit juice?
Oh. Whoa.
Godzilla dropping a giant kumquat on Tokyo?
Oh my gosh. I'm guessing Avery's decided his conversation should have as many random, meaningless images as a TV ad.
That would be a good guess. Ronald Reagan eating a giant space Pop-Tart.
You don't seriously think this ad campaign thing is going to make you cool?
It's bound to work.
If you're cool, I'm the Prime Minister of Laos. Hey, Avery. I heard you're cool now. Want to hang out with us? Will you come to my birthday party?
So how are things going in Laos?
I'm now going there to find out. I can't believe Avery's slogan actually succeeded in making him popular.
It's certainly a puzzlement. But you know what happens to inexplicably popular figures who get overexposed?
What?
Backlash.
I didn't know backlash went per whoosh.
I can't believe it. 15 minutes of popularity, and suddenly everyone's back to thinking I'm completely uncool. It's unprecedented. Who would have thought that marketing-driven trends could be so short-lived? Why are you humming Ice baby? No reason.
Is something wrong, Avery?
Go away, Tommelty. I'm coping with a tragic, sudden decline in my coolness.
I think you're cool, big brother.
Tim, you think pouring flour into the heating vent is cool?
Well, it is.
You're not out advertising yourself, Avery?
Nah. That got old. Advertising makes things cool briefly, but the novelty wears off fast. And unless you can think of ways to constantly repackage the product, things end up worse than before. That's too much pressure. You guys tolerate me, so I'll stick with you.
Gee, thanks.
At least until I can come up with a better plan.
Stop, we're blushing.
Last week, the birth of a baby in Sarajevo brought the human population of Earth to 6 billion. If you're 1 in a million. There are now 6,000 of you. You humans may wish to reflect on the increasingly difficult nature of being in any way unique.
Come on, people now. Smile on your brother.
Difficult. Not impossible.
Look, I'm a waffle.
Those who do not know how to weep with their whole heart don't know how to laugh either. Golda Meir said that.
Of course, she said that before the invention of Prozac.
Dad, what's the secret to happiness?
That's a very large question. I think the important thing is to realize that, in the end, few things are as good or bad as they appear at the time. Seeming boons can distract from greater opportunities, and apparent setbacks can open doors. Better to accept all things as they come, and simply work to shape them into the best outcome you can.
In the spirit of that.
Have you told him about the basement yet? It says here that movie content wasn't always as colorful as it is now.
What do you mean?
The movie industry used to have a voluntary system called the Hays Code, where they agreed not to use questionable words. A movie called The Moon is Blue broke that in 1953, by using words like pregnant.
Whoa.
I guess some kinds of entertainment are still pretty carefully censored. Like, say, comic strips.
Well,